Over the course of the last few weeks, while all of you out there have been going out and traumatizing poor little Ellie more than she already is, or reliving the glory days of your childhood with SpongeBob, I've put my time into Minecraft Dungeons, the latest game released in the Minecraft world from both Mojang Studios and Double 11. The game is a very stripped down and kid-friendly recreation of Blizzard Entertainment's popular Diablo series, with all the staples you would expect from such a dungeon crawling experience. Vast caverns with swaths of enemies, various loot drops, enchantments, and items of power to help you deal with said swaths of enemies, and yeah, that's basically it. You travel to one of about 15 different levels, cut, slice, bash, and otherwise cause damage to zombies, creepers, skeletons, spiders, and other Minecraft stable mobs, while also dealing with a few new baddies to liven things up, like the enchanters, geomancers, wraiths, and golems. Along the way, you'll receive all sorts of new loot, including weapons, armor, and emeralds, all to help improve your loadout and better combat the forces of evil that you'll be throwing yourself into. On the surface, this might appear to just be a cut down and sanitized version of Diablo, but there's at least a few key differences here. The most obvious one out of the gate is obviously the look of the dang thing. Diablo is full of dark caverns and gothic imagery, which makes sense since you're spending your time fighting the forces of hell or whatever other horrors said plane of existence can conjure up to try and stop you. With Minecraft Dungeons, everything is either directly pulled from the popular building and crafting game, or feels like it could fit right into it, including the environments, enemies, weapons, and more. But that's not the only difference. Dungeons forgoes the typical class system of Diablo for a more flexible loot-based system for combat, for instance. Instead of choosing your class at the beginning and getting all sorts of weapons and armor geared specifically for that class, you can pick up and use just about anything you find, choosing to equip it or cast it aside for a small sum of emeralds that you can then use to try and purchase better gear. Each weapon, ranged weapon, and set of armor also has a random assortment of enchantments you can equip to them, giving you additional abilities, bonuses, and more, and can allow you to have multiples of the same weapon or item and still have a very distinct choice to make. Regardless of how the game plays, I can safely say that I had more fun playing this game than I did most of its contemporaries. While I enjoy some games like Diablo 2 and Baldur's Gate, I find it hard to personally get into this genre of game. But Minecraft Dungeons seems to be the exception to this, as I played through it once on PC through Game Pass before purchasing it on the PlayStation 4, completing it to 100%, and that requires at least 3 playthroughs on its own. Whether it's the stripped down class system, my familiarity and appreciation for the Minecraft aesthetic, or some random factor I just can't pin down, Minecraft Dungeons is the dungeon crawler of choice for me. I'll gladly play more of this game soon, and with the 2 upcoming DLC packs I'll be getting thanks to the hero version of the game that I purchased, that'll hopefully happen sooner rather than later. But through all of this, there was a minor mystery that persisted as I played. When I beat the game for the first time on PlayStation 4, making it technically my second time beating it on the default difficulty since I beat it on Game Pass prior, I decided to take a breath and explore some more of the camp. When you beat the game, you unlock an additional area, and by accessing this new area and exploring a little bit further, you find a chamber of sorts that looks almost like a church, with a red and gold trimmed carpet and rows of pews with photos of what I assume to be the dev team adorning the walls. But reach the back of this chamber and you find a door. Approaching this locked door prompts you with the message, "Place runes." And when you attempt this, only one of the 10 rune spots lights up. Turns out, this is linked to one of the best Easter eggs that the game tells you nothing about. Once you beat the game on default difficulty, you unlock adventure difficulty. It's basically just you going through the same levels with slightly stronger enemies and maybe a bit more of a variety for a more robust challenge. But along with that, new hidden chambers become accessible within each of the main levels. In each of these main levels, you can find a switch or a button previously unknown to you that'll open up a previously hidden door. Once inside, you'll access an altar, and activating the altar gets you a new rune. Do this for each of the main levels, return to the chamber in your camp, and you will unlock the door that gives you access to a chest, another chest, and... question mark. A new marker will appear on your map, and once you land in this new level, you're greeted with an almost swamp-like atmosphere, with overgrown mushrooms and a sickly green dirt ground to traverse. As you leave the dock that brought you to this mysterious island, you're given a new objective, simply titled Moo? Advance forward, and you will be attacked by large hordes of shrieking, maniacal moo shrooms. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with this reference, this might seem like it's a really weird, odd secret level to put into the game. The mushrooms don't appear in any other part of the game, so their inclusion here sparks some questions. Why not include them in any of the main levels of the game? What's up with this weird, mysterious island? And why is this the only place in the entire game do cows go moo constantly? In Diablo 2, there was a hidden level simply called the Secret Cow level. Players would only be able to access this other dimension if they were playing on a difficulty level they'd already completed, and then after combining 3 items together, would spawn a red portal in the main hub area. Upon entering, the player will be swarmed by hell bovines, cows standing on their hind legs and wielding pole arms, who constantly moo at you as they attempt to slaughter you. This quickly became a fantastic place for players to level up quickly, and has quickly become one of gaming's most iconic Easter eggs. So, when I learned about this in Minecraft Dungeons, I was absolutely overjoyed to see it. As I mentioned, I'm not a huge fan of Diablo. It's one of the few dungeon crawlers that I will play. But the Secret Cow level is one of the things that I absolutely adore about the Diablo franchise. It's one of those secrets that, when you find it, you can't believe it's real until you experience it yourself, and when you do, it's just so much it's silly! I do wish that Minecraft Dungeons would have gone all in with this reference though, allowing the mushrooms or cows or whatever would be in the level to stand on their hind legs and wield pole arms and constantly go moo. But the fact that it even utilizes mushrooms in the first place is kinda good enough in my book, since they're really not utilized anywhere else in the game. And they still constantly go moo at you, and there is a actually decent enough boss fight even though it's not really a cow at the end of the level. Plus, the mere existence of this level just makes me incredibly happy, much like the original in Diablo 2. Though, I will say I don't really utilize it much like I do the original for leveling purposes. Still, it's an awesome discovery in an already great game. It might not be as elaborate as what was in Diablo 2, it might not have as much replayability or exploration-based gameplay as the main Minecraft. And honestly, there's a couple of features that could be updated and fixed that would make things a lot better and more fun to play. Like the weird gacha game system for the random weapon drops that you can get from the merchant, or the enchantments that you can get from the wandering trader in your camp. Still, this is easily one of my favorite games that's already come out this year. And I'm just eager to see what the development team has in store for us with the next update, whenever that comes out. What? What do you mean it's coming out tomorrow? I just beat the dang thing!